Alright guys, we've done $100, we've done $200, now it's time to look at the top 10 knives under $300 right now in CS2. Speaking of knives that fit into that category, it's not here, but I actually unboxed this Stiletto Damascus Steel in field test last night, which is kind of nuts. That's my third gold now from CS2, and I say last night, I'm recording this on the 12th, the prices are from the 9th, but it's recorded in advance because I'm away in Germany. So there might be some fluctuation with the prices. Please forgive me if there is, especially if you're watching way down the line. But I'm hoping there's not going to be any updates come out and we're not going to have anything too drastic change. Today's video is sponsored by Knifey. Now you might remember we did a full unboxing video not so long ago for Knifey. They are the perfect in real life replicas of the Counter-Strike knives we all love. With over 200 skins being covered across 16 different categories, you'll be able to get your favorite CS knife as an IRL replica. I had a Butterfly, Stiletto, Huntsman and Karambit sent my way, and they were all insanely high quality and looked the part. And I have good news. Right now you can use my code FOZZY to get 20% off your order, so make sure you check them out. Thanks to Knifey for sponsoring today's video. Now, like before, I am going to have some gloves pop up, just to showcase the sort of gloves maybe I would suggest going for with the knife. And you can see the first knife I'm suggesting here. It's a Bowie knife, Tiger Tooth, factory new. This one's actually $220, so we're not even close to that $300 mark, but it was too expensive to include in the 200 one because it's way too much over the buffer. So I think 220 for this is great. I put Tiger Strikes as a potential glove for it. Actually, big games in Battlescarred look so good. For example, Battlescarred big games, quite cheap, so this is a really nice combo you can look towards. But yeah, 220 for the knife itself, very, very nice. And then I was keen to get a Slaughter in, but with it being a higher tier finish, you don't get it on any crazy knives. But I gotta say, 285 for a Huntsman Slaughter in minimal wear, so you start to see some small scuffs come onto the knife. This is incredibly good. I like that on, like, you see on the handle, it's got that Slaughter accent going the whole way around it. And then the blade itself looks really nice. Obviously, it's pattern based, so depending on if you want to hunt for a pattern, you can. And then my glove choice would always be the Scarlet Shams with the Slaughter if you were wanting something that would pair perfectly with it. We do have a new giveaway for this week. It's going to be a, I think it's minimal wear. Yeah, minimal wear USP and Monster Mashup. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below to enter. Make sure in the Discord so you can see if you win. So good luck if you're entering, and let's look at more knives. Alright, as much as I want to have the anti-flip knife agenda, I can't ignore that you can get a flip knife lower for $270 in field test, which is pretty damn good. And again, I think the only thing here, as always, wouldn't function in real life. But with that aside, the green handle is maybe the only thing here. But that lower pattern on this blade actually looks quite cool. And it's another one where there's little bits of wear coming through on it. Actually kind of pairs quite nicely for it, and you guys know I used a Butterfly lower with Arids, so I think Arids are a really nice pairing with lower knives if you wanted something a bit different. Now, speaking of the closer to S tier knives, I'm going to have a Talon Knife Forest DD Pat, which in minimal wear is $280. Now, Forest DD Pat, always pattern based, so you're going to have a check for that if you want more green, if you want more brown, more the neutral color, whatever. The handle's quite nice. Blade looks fairly clean and minimal wear, so if you're into the animations and you want a green loadout, but you're not going to be going for a flashy like Gamma Doppler, this is a nice sort of middle ground to have, and it's $280, and then you can look at doing like these special gloves for DD Pat, which are relatively cheap in field test and even minimal wear, and you can see how nice this pairing is. Now, I have had an increase in appreciation for blue steels in the last few weeks, and we get one here. This is a Nomad blue steel in field test, and it's $290. Now, I put the Spruce DD Pats on. In hindsight, they're not really the best gloves for it, but overall, Nomad has some nice animations. I think with the sort of the handle casing that you have on it, the blue steel actually looks pretty good on it. So yeah, this is one that I think coming under the $300 mark is a very interesting offering, especially if you want to go for a blue loadout. Now, of course, I have to get some Gamma Doppler and Dopplers in there, but on the $300 mark, we do have to go for what is deemed the lower tier knives. Now, this one is actually a Phase 4 Gamma Doppler on the gut knife, which in factory new is $240 as of the time of like planning and recording this, which is kind of nuts. And then these gloves here are the Jade gloves. I would suggest these in field test that they're just over the $100 mark. So really, this is like a $350 combo. The brown of the gloves matches the brown of the handle, and then I quite like how the Phase 4 looks on the gut knife. So overall, like knife 240 for this is super nice. And I'm aware I don't really give enough appreciation towards the classic knife, so I'm going to do it here. $250 for a field-tested Crimson Web classic knife. Obviously, you can get nice web patterns for this. I actually like the classic knife's wear because it's pretty much just like cake. I always call it the cake effect. Like, it looks like you've cut a cake with it and it's got some smearing on it. But I actually think with certain patterns, it's going to look quite good, and a field tested Crimson Web is definitely in that for me. And for this, I like Nox with these because it pairs really nicely with the handle if you were looking for a glove to try and pair with it. And you couldn't get through a budget video without me showing some shadow daggers, and these are the CS2s, which I think we need to have a conversation around, because this is a $255 knife, and it is quite possibly one of the best pink gems we see in the game, especially when the light hits it here. Like, the full pink Doppler pattern blade, and then the nice pink bit in the middle of it for the price you're paying. Yes, there's no crazy animations, but these are so good if you're trying to build a pink loadout or want something to pair with vice gloves, you know, and you want it to be a bit different. So when I was looking at all the Dopplers and Gamma Dopplers, I realized, you know what, we should show some love towards the Marble Fade, because it is a multicolored knife. It can look pretty good on the right loadout, and maybe you guys would appreciate it. So I've gone for a Falchion here because, I mean, you can see the rare inspect. I always call this, like, the B-Tech Butterfly, because you get so many animations. I love the right click. Like, the right click is so smooth on this. But 260, you get a nice mix of colors, some decent lighting effects, and animations. Overall, not too bad of an offering, and yeah, I mean, Marble Field gloves are an obvious pairing. And then the final knife I have is going to be a Bayonet Black Laminate. This one is minimal wear, and it's $290. Now, if you want a neutral knife that's kind of realistic, looks mean, then Black Labs are always going to be good, but Bayonet with that nice little smooth animation, obviously there's no real rare inspects, there's none at all actually, but the draw animation is kind of cool for it, and I think the likes of Smokeouts are a knife that are gloves that work really well with this knife. So there you go, that's 10 different knives under $300 in CS2 in August 2024. I think as you, like, we've done 100, we've done 200, we've done 300, we get some real nice notable upgrades here. I think when we jump to $400 next, that's when we're going to start getting some really just like top-notch stuff where we're getting like A-tier knives and finishes, which is just in that really nice value point. And I am going to end it there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you like this series. It was kind of refresher. We did it a few months back, but obviously prices have changed a little bit and different things fall into different budgets. I just want to say a big thank you again to Knifey for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check out that info in the pinned comment or the description. And then a big thank you to the YouTube members that are supporting the channel. It is greatly appreciated. If you want to become a YouTube member and get some of the perks like those guys are getting, then check that join button below the video and it'll give you all the information you need. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.